Welcome to ENV 212 Environmental Issues. This is your instructor, Julia Nicholas, and in this short video, I will go over everything that you need to know to get started with the course. So today in this video, we'll cover what ENV 212 is. We'll go over a brief course overview, go over how to get started with Canvas, where you're the course site, go over assignments and grading, and then some tips on how to succeed in an online course. First off, let's go over a brief overview of the course. So we're going to be running this course as a model United Nations Environmental Summit. And in the course, you'll be doing all your coursework as if you were participants in this environmental summit. And you will be discussing issues and trying to come up with solutions to those issues. So throughout the course, I'll refer to you as delegates rather than as students. At this point in your degree, I'm hoping to have you learn to view yourself as beyond students. So you're moving probably at this phase of taking this course to being close to the end of your degree. And so I'd like you to start using the information that you've learned throughout your degree and learning how you can make a difference in the world when you are done being a student. So rather than just being given a lot of information lecture-wise for you to memorize as you would when you're a student, as a delegate in the course, you'll find a lot of information on your own. You'll be determining which information is scientifically sound and deciding for yourself which issues you feel are significant and what can be done about it. I'll be giving a lot more details on the specifics of our environmental summit in week 1. So this is a 4-unit lecture course. Each week at our environmental summit, you'll be looking at one environmental issue per week for the core 6 weeks where we look at issues. And each of those 6 weeks that you look at a different issue, you'll be given background information on the issue. This might be readings, a video, or some PowerPoint slides related to the weekly topic. I'll have objectives listed at the beginning of that, and you'll submit your answers to the weekly objectives. This is essentially if you were going to a conference, typically you'll want to do some form of background research to make sure that you're prepared for the conference so that when you discuss issues, you have some good background information. So this is essentially your background information. Then you'll have your main discussion on the issue each week. And at 2 points in the course, you'll do 2 written proposals based on the weekly issue. So you'll be picking an issue for each of those proposals. And I'll go into more details on that a little bit later in the course. For the last 3 weeks of the course, you'll be doing a final project on a local environmental issue relevant to your career choice. And again, more details a little bit later in the course on that as well. Let's look next at how Canvas works and how you'll be doing your work and submitting things. So Canvas is your main course site where everything will be done and where you can communicate with other delegates in our summit. To log in, you can go through MyKCC. So if you have forgotten the link and you need to go to MyKCC, you can go to MyKCC, this website here, and then you can click on Canvas. I would imagine if you're going here frequently, you'll probably just have this link in your browser, the canvascc.instructure.com. You'll enter your login and password, the same username and password that you would enter on MyKCC to get into Canvas. So that's what the screen will pop up with to enter in your username and password. And then next, you'll be selecting your course. So you will probably be taken to your dashboard when you log in, and you select whichever course that you just click somewhere on this box for the course that you'd like to go to. Your dashboard, there's 2 different functions here when you log in there. If you have this button here to the left, you'll see boxes with all your courses in it. If you have the button pulled over to the right, then you'll see a list of recent activity in the course. So if you log into your dashboard and you see this screen and you'd rather see a list of your courses, you can just flip this over to the side. But that is a useful feature if you do want to look at recent activity in the course. Calendar is really helpful if you have other courses in Canvas. This course and all your other courses, assignments that have due dates will be listed on the calendar, and each course gets a different color. You can change the color if you want to by clicking on these 3 little dots here and select whatever colors you'd like to show up as the color for the course on your calendar. If you do click on a link for an assignment, it will take you to that assignment. And there's little symbols here. This means that it's a discussion due, and this means that it's an assignment due. In this particular class, we will just be doing discussions and submitting assignments. And we won't be using the quiz or test function in this course. When you are on your dashboard, and this says Physics 103, but it will look the same as for your course as well. If you see this little megaphone thing with the number on it, that means that there's a new announcement for the course. And I may use announcements throughout the course if I need to let all of you know something particular. So keep an eye out for that icon here and just click on that icon and it will take you to the announcements for the course if there are any new announcements. So once you actually click on the course, your home page will look like this, and your home page will have, there's not a whole lot useful once you get past getting started. It has an intro to the class and how to get started with the class down here, which I'm covering in this video here. It is somewhat useful on your to-do list, so if you just want to look quickly at what's due and needs to be turned in that week, and also what will be coming up just past that. So that may be a useful feature for you to look at. And then there are several tabs on the left that you can click on. So you can click on to go to announcements. Modules is where all your coursework is stored. There's also a link to the syllabus for the course, the general KCC syllabus, and a link to view your grades. So one of the first things, if you click on modules, at the very top of that page, it will say start here, and there's a syllabus quiz. And once you have reviewed the course syllabus and the KCC institutional syllabus, you can take that syllabus quiz, and that's worth 10 points, but the main thing for this is that it establishes your attendance in the course. So you need to complete this by Thursday or you may be automatically dropped from the course for non-attendance. So that's what the college is looking at to see if you have logged into the course and gotten started in this first week. So please make sure that that's one of the first things that you do this week is complete that syllabus quiz. Scrolling down through the modules, it's broken down by week, and under each week there's a list of what you need to be doing for the week. So I've numbered them because in some weeks the activities do need to be done in a certain order, and I want to make sure that you don't miss doing something on time. So in this first week, the first thing to do is go over the Welcome to Week 1. This is really important this week. It explains how our environmental summit will work and different roles that you can choose from as different types of delegates you can be, and the grading breakdown for the course, and lots of other really important information. So this is a really critical one for you to view first before you try to get started doing any discussions, because there is some important information here that will help make sure that everything else you do this week you do correctly. After you've gone through this, you can do the environmental team sign up. I would recommend doing that as soon as possible. I have that due Wednesday so that I can let you know later in the week what type of delegate that you will be. So you can choose, and that will be gone into a little bit later in the week 1 stuff, but you can choose what type of delegate you'd like to be at our summit, our environmental summit, and pick your top choices for what you'd like to be here. So do that, the sooner the better. You'll do an introduction to yourself as a delegate in the conference. Once you know what type of delegate you'll be, then you can do your introduction. And the next link down after that is week 1 information. It has some slides to go through that review a lot of what you probably learned in environmental science, but just review that so it's fresh in your mind, and some main concepts that you'll need to know to help you understand everything else that we discuss. And then the final link here is for your week 1 prep, and within this week 1 information there is a link, or not a link, but there's a page toward the beginning that says the objectives of what you need to be learning as you read through that information and go through those slides. In the week 1 prep, you'll answer those objectives and you'll submit them here. And that's what you'll be doing for week 1. Once we get to week 2, then we'll be looking at a different issue each week. So this week is more just prep to get us started, and then after that we'll be looking at different issues. As we move on to the issues, it may be helpful to think of, if you were at a conference, you'd be doing something different each day. I would look at Monday as your background and prep day, trying to get done going through the background information and getting those questions answered. Look at Tuesday as a research day where you're researching the issue from your delegate's perspective. And then look at Wednesday through Sunday as days to discuss the issue with the other delegates. Another link on the main course page is grades. That's another important link to keep in mind. If you were to click on grades, you should, I think this is how it will look on your end, see your name, see a list of all the different assignments that we've done so far, and you'll have a grade there, and then you'll have a total grade for the course. So keep an eye out, check your grades frequently to make sure those assignment grades look correct. Make sure if you turn something in that it has been graded. Let me know if I've missed anything or something doesn't look correct, and then also keep an eye on that total grade, because that's what I will use to determine your overall grade for the class. A general rule for late work is that late work turned in after the due date will be deducted by 10%. If you have a valid reason for your work being turned in late, please let me know and I may not deduct that 10%. And there are lots of things that come up throughout the course being online, such as your internet going down or other things that may prevent you from turning things in. So please let me know if there is a valid reason for something being turned in late. And if you do turn in work late, it's always best to check with me so I'm aware of your situation and can work with you on how to make sure you stay caught up in the course. So the more you can communicate with me, the better I think it goes for you in the course. Lastly, let's go over some tips on how to get help for the course and how to succeed in an online course. So one thing that you may find that you need as you start going through your assignments is you may get to something and have a question on your assignment. And the easiest way to get in touch with me is just to send me a text message at my number here. And I don't live with my phone, but I tend to have it pretty close by most of the time. So usually that's the quickest way that you'll get a response back, is by sending me a text message. And so if you have a question on an assignment or a question about due date or anything else, it's really the easiest way to very quickly get in touch with me. If something you don't need answered right at that minute and you just want to let me know about something, you can send an email, or there's an inbox link on Canvas that you can use to send me messages as well. So any of those options work. I have office hours on Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Where I can respond to messages on Canvas, or you can send me text messages. I don't find anybody ever shows up on the office hours, because usually if you have a question throughout the week, I'll try to get back to you pretty quickly. But I do have those office hours if you need to know a time that you can specifically get a hold of me. Again, as I said, if you're stuck on something and need help right away, the best option is just to send me a text message if you have that ability. You certainly don't have to. I will try to get back to my emails at the end of each day. It's just a little quicker to go by text message. An option that I'm going to give out for extra credit for 10 points is to text me now with your name and the course name, so your name and Physics 103, and that way I'll have your name and number in my phone, so if you need to send me a message later, I'll know who it is. And if you're ever out and away from your course information and need to let me know that something's not going to be turned in, or you have a question, you have an easy reference there right in your phone to get in touch with me. So again, optional for extra credit, 10 points. Send me a text with your name and course number. So let's go over now some tips on how to be successful in an online course. And the biggest difference in an online course and an on-campus course is that you kind of need to be self-motivated to get your work done each week. You're not going to a lecture and being reminded of the things that need to get done. And so it's up to you to keep track of what you need to get done and when you're going to do it. The flexibility is really great, but making sure you get everything done is really important in an online class. So my first biggest tip is to start the quarter off right. So list out all your assignments for the week and when you're going to do them. And the reason for this is that you don't want to set aside a certain amount of time to work on work and then only get one course done. Make sure that you're planning out when you're going to do each assignment, labs, homeworks, work for other classes, and try to stick to that schedule in your first week and adjust it as you need to in the future weeks. Finding a good routine to finish this week's assignments can help you keep on track for the rest of the quarter. And then also, make sure you keep track of your calendar throughout the term. So it's a pretty handy calendar in Canvas, looks like this. It shows each class gets a different color and it shows you what's due and when it's due. So make sure that you're checking that frequently and that you don't forget, so you don't forget due dates. My next tip for being successful online is to create a dedicated place and time where you can study. So one first thing is just in your study area to clear your area of distractions. So if you have things that you know will distract you, like your cell phone or anything else, try to not have those things right next to you where they're going to distract you. The next tip is don't try to watch TV in the background. Check Facebook, send texts, those little things as you're working, because what you'll do is spend way more time going back and forth between tasks and not staying focused on your homework will take up a lot of your time. So if you just focus on getting your homework done and tell yourself maybe after X amount of time that then you can take a break and watch TV or check Facebook, you'll be a lot more productive in that chunk of time when you decide to work. If you have kids, try your best to study when it's quiet, like nap time or put on a movie, something where you can go in and focus on your homework and be as productive as possible. And as you can see in the picture here, if you have your Facebook visible, you're constantly checking it. It's really hard to focus on getting your work done and being productive. So anything that's distracting you, it's best when you do your homework time, best for you to put that away, just because it's good to get your homework done quickly and then move on to all the other things that you need to get done. A few other tips are to try to achieve a family and school balance. So if you do have a family, this is really important because you can't just put your family on the back burner while you focus on school. So you have to try to find a way to make it all balance and work, and trying to find time when you can focus on your school and other time when you get to spend the time and focus on your family that you need to, and do the things for your family that you need to do. So trying to find that balance can be really challenging, but it's good to try to find a schedule that works for everyone and try to find times that you can do the different things you need to get done and be productive during those times. Another tip is to stay on schedule. It's really important because if you get behind, you have to not only then do past week's work that you've missed, but the current week's work, and it's a lot to put on you. So the biggest reason that I put due dates on assignments is not really because I care that they're due at a certain time, but because I try to keep you on track and spread out the work throughout the quarter. So in all your courses, trying to make sure that you're staying on schedule with what you need to get done. Another one that can be hard is to stay motivated. And I think at the beginning, we all have the energy of the quarter starting off and getting going. And then as the weeks go by, it's sometimes hard to stay motivated in the middle of the quarter or the end of the quarter, whenever you kind of get that burnout. And so trying to realize through those weeks that it's important to keep going in those weeks and that the quarter won't last forever. And really a quarter goes by pretty fast because it's only 10 weeks and then 11th week for finals. So trying to stay motivated through the whole quarter and not just get burnt out and not do anything for 2 weeks and then have to get all caught up. Another thing is to participate. So the more that you interact with the course will help keep you focused on what you need to be doing, help you stay engaged in the course, and hopefully make it a little more interesting if the more you participate and talk with other students rather than feeling like you're just doing the course by yourself. Next tip is to make sure you get help when you need help. So if something seems difficult, seems to be taking a lot of time or isn't working, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what I'm here for, is to help out if you need help. So if you're struggling with something, please do feel free to ask for help at any time. Another tip I'd say is to try to find a study partner if you can. So even in the online world, I've put up the chat discussion. So if you, for example, you could post in there and say, does anyone want to help work on the lab questions together at a certain time? And you can, work with each other, send messages, and figure out a time to meet up. But if it's possible to work with somebody, it's always nice to have someone to work with. I think it makes your schoolwork a lot easier. Next tip is set yourself up for success. So spread your work out and make small, realistic goals. So don't try to say that you're going to get all your work done for the week on Sunday night at 10 p.m. and you think you're going to get it done between 10 and midnight. One, it's not, when you make those goals that aren't realistic, you're not going to get it done and then you won't feel successful. And it's good if you can say that on Monday I'm going to make an attempt just to get online and read the syllabus for each of my classes. And then Tuesday, take the syllabus quiz. Make a goal that's realistic and that you can actually get done because you'll feel better when you set goals that are realistic goals for yourself. When you do feel overwhelmed, try to pick one thing that you can complete. So again, making you feel successful will make you want to continue doing the other things you need to get done. So even if you are not going to be able to get done everything you need to get done for the night, pick one thing and get that one thing done. And my next tip here is that even though we're online, I am actually a real human being, and I know that you're a real human being too. And if you are sick or dealing with a hardship or something, please let me know. So I've had students say they've got the flu and they're up all night trying to take a test and didn't do a good job. I really don't want you to be in that position. So if you are really sick or something's going on, please let me know. We'll work out an alternate due date. Obviously, if you have something going on every week, then that would be different. But for those things that pop up where you come up and you're sick or something else is going on, please let me know. And don't feel like you need to stay up till midnight to meet a due date. I'm more than happy to adjust the due dates if there is something going on. So that's the end of our course introduction. If you are not watching this video through Canvas, then the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you can get logged into Canvas. So you'll be going to this link here and making sure you can get logged in. The next thing that you want to do is complete your syllabus quiz. So read the course syllabus and the KCC institutional syllabus, and then click on that link under, if you go into modules, click on the syllabus quiz. Get that done by Thursday, or you may be automatically dropped from the course for non-attendance. And then after that, you'll click on, again, that modules link on the left, which brings up the list of all of your things that you should be working on for the week. And again, those are numbered, so you can just follow through those numbers and work on those one at a time through the week. If you have any questions as you get started, feel free to let me know at any time, and I look forward to working with you in the course.